Good afternoon. This is the September 4th, 2025 meeting of the Government Operations Committee of Tompkins County. I'm Michael Lane. I'm substituting for our chair, Amanda Champion. With us in chambers is Rich John and also Shauna Black, who has been appointed by our chair for this meeting, so we would have quorum. We appreciate that. Are there changes to today's agenda? Guess not. Do we have any public comment? I guess not. Let's take the minutes of August 7th, please. Someone want to move those? Shauna moves, Rich seconds. Discussion about them? Those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous. We have some appointments. The Tompkins County Library Board of Trustees, Linda Bartnick. And does anyone need an executive session to discuss this? Someone want to move it? Rich? Seconded by Shauna. Discussion?
I just indicated as the liaison to the library, I was there for the discussion at the TCPL board meeting. I think this is a good choice.
Ready to vote? Those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. We're up to the county clerks section on our, you want to come on up, Maureen? Rachel, whoever you'd like to have.
So we recently were awarded a state archives grant. I'm kind of excited about this. I mean, I've been scanning for a lot of years. I don't get excited about scanning, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the historic naturalization records that we have. We scanned them years ago in black and white, but we're going to have a company rescan them in color. And then they have AI now, which will read the handwritten cursive to do the indexing so that more data would be entered than normal. And then we're going to join Queens County and Bronx County. They have a big project where all the naturalization records that are historic are available on the internet for anyone to search. So we'll be joining into that project, the first county besides the two big boroughs where everybody came in. So yeah, so it's exciting. It's something I've thought about for a long time, and technology has finally caught up where it can read all those weird handwritings and index it for us. So.
How far back do these records go?
Well, ours go back to 1895 and 1950. We can't release anything from 50 forward because we have to wait 75 years before they can be public. The other two counties, of course, have them much farther back. So, but we'll join in one big database. We'll have it on our site too, but then we'll join theirs. So.
I wonder what people did before the 1890s.
Well, they have probably down in the city, but here, I don't know if we did the ceremonies here prior to that. I'm not.
Oh, you might be saying it might have happened in the city of.
It might have happened like at Ellis Island or someplace.
New York City.
Yeah, that's why the Queens and Bronx have so much. But yeah, it's fun. We've had a huge uptick of requests for naturalization records. A lot of people want for the Italian citizenship. There's something going on with that, so. It'll be good for people to find it out themselves, or if you want to see when great grandma, became a citizen. We'll have it in color, a photo of grandma.
And let's not forget Columbus Day is coming up.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm fascinated to hear that AI thinks it can read.
It does.
Cursive, the old cursive.
We help teach it. And then not only that, but say if I have a record that's been torn or is, like the ink came off or, it can actually rebuild it in layers and make it look like brand new almost.
That's amazing, but scary.
Yeah, but some records get, a mouse ate or something happened to over the years, and this can fill out the holes that are there. So it's kind of nice to recreate it.
Yeah.
To be seen by everyone and see their family when they came to the United States and became citizens.
It's always a challenge to read the old cursive records at the court, at your office. Of course, I don't know where we go to look at them anymore, basically. The originals.
On my website,
The originals.
yeah.
I don't know where the books are. Are they
Most of the older stuff we don't have originals for anyways. It was all photocopied at one time or another. But all the older books are stored at the bunker at up in Seneca Army Depot, so.
I'm glad they're being stored.
Yep.
We'll need them again someday. Rich?
I can't remember, is the resolution on the floor, or we?
No, we haven't moved it yet.
I would move that, but I also have a comment.
Seconded by Shauna.
Maureen, I just wanted to say, as my time as a legislator is coming to an end, I was thinking back, and you invited me to speak at a naturalization ceremony, and I still appreciate that. That was a real highlight. And I was thinking about it recently because of what's happening on a national level to people coming to our country, which I think is so unfortunate, but it was a real bright spot. So thanks for letting me do that.
Yeah, and it's nice. So there was 3 years after, during COVID and afterwards that we didn't have them, and we got them back last year and this year, and they're it's just the best days of work ever,
Yeah.
Yeah, make you feel worthwhile those days.
How many this year? You've done 2, right?
Yes, we have one coming up in later September. What's the date? 25th.
That's neat. Ready to vote on this? I don't think anybody wants to not take the grant. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. And Rachel, thank you for being here. I guess we're to the Board of Elections. Who have we got? Alana, I see on the screen.
Yes, Steve.
Oh, Steve's there too. Steve DeWitt and Alana Congdon. You want to report or just want us to go into the resolutions?
I mean, if you have any questions, we can answer those. If not, I think they're pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Let's
Let's start with resolution extension of Help America Vote Act operation expenses by the Board of Elections. Shoebox. Moved by Shauna, seconded by Rich. You want to tell us what Shoebox is all about?
And when they made the original HAVA grant to purchase voting machines back in, I think it was in 2008, they gave each county so much money, and I think after a couple of years of people buying their voting machines, and if they had money left over, they then changed the nomenclature on the grant fund to shoebox. That was whatever was left over from purchasing voting machines and accessories at the time.
Questions, Rich?
Yeah, it just struck me, this seemed like an odd thing to do for $396 to run a grant program. Are there other counties getting lots of money, or is it truly shoebox level?
Well, it was an extension, so we thought we had exhausted it this year, and then they found us another $396. So
the couch cushions.
Yeah.
Okay. So this probably won't go next year. This will.
No.
Let's hope not.
No. We'll use it this year.
Shauna?
Just to note, it took $12,000 of administrative fees for us to get.
Noted. Thank you.
It wasn't us. Yeah.
Good enough
We
for
thought
government
we put all
work,
the
right?
money in.
All right, want to vote? Those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous. And then we have resolution, Board of Elections, reallocation of grant money from 2024 to 2025. Moved by Shauna, seconded by Rich. Want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, so last year we got 2 grants. We got a ballot by mail grant, and then we got the general election grant. We used most of the ballot by mail grant. We have just under $5,000 left on that one, and we can definitely use that this year. And the general election grant, we were saving the majority of it to help us with poll pads this year. So that money will go towards our new poll pads this year.
Questions? Rich?
It seems like ballot by mail has been a real benefit in our community. but there seems to be some talk on the national level that we don't want to do this anymore. Is that trickling down here? Is there any chance that by the time we get to our November election, there'd be some interference in ballot by mail? Or is that all keyed up for next year when it's the federal?
I don't have my crystal ball, but these laws that enable voting by mail in New York State were passed by the state legislature and signed by the governor, and I guess it all depends on, what kind of power the federal government has to tell us how to run our elections. As historically, elections have been run on a state-by-state level.
Right.
The federal government really is not, gotten too much involved in the operation of state board of elections.
Yeah, it just seems like everything's different now. But hopefully it just continues on. Okay, thanks.
I have noticed that there's some pushback from some conservative states that don't want the mail-in ballot option to go away. So I think that's a good thing. Ready to vote on this one? Those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous.
Mike, I have a question.
Here's a question for you folks.
Yeah, I have a question for the Board of Elections. I know that Onondaga County and Ryan McMahon, the county executive there, they filed in the Court of Appeals for the state of New York an appeal for the finding that they would have legislators have 3-year terms. And I was wondering, the interpretation from them is that at this point, since it's still in the court proceeding, that it would be a 4-year term?
No.
Is that right? Okay.
No.
It's flipped. It would be a 3-year unless it was overturned.
Overturned, okay. I think they had found, the last time I spoke with Ryan, it sounds like they had found something that as long as it was in litigation, that it would stay 4-year, but you think it's probably going to stay 3-year, and then if it's overturned, go back to 4-year?
Yeah, I believe that there was a disagreement among the people at the State Board of Elections, and so for some reason they say it'll be a 3-year term unless the Court of Appeals, which is having a hearing on this coming Monday at 2 p.m.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get some, this will be resolved soon, but right now it's it's a 3-year term.
Okay, thank you.
And
Maureen, did you want to
a
mention
4-year
anything?
term next year if you don't get a decision until next year.
My understanding is the same as Steve's, that it's a 3-year term unless overruled, but considering we have a meeting coming up right next week, I will check on the status of things and report back at the meeting.
That's great, thank you.
Thanks. All right. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda has to do with the public hearing on the charter change that we've talked about charter changes, and I want to thank Maury and Amanda both.
Do you have county administration?
Number 8.
I think I just jumped right over it. I apologize. Let's go back to county administration. Bridget,
No problem.
thank you for being here with us.
Of course. Did you want to get this resolution on the floor?
All right, we can do that. Acceptance of grant funding from New York State Department of State Division of Local Government Services. Shauna moves. Rich seconds. talk to us about it?
Sure. So this is essentially what we would consider pass-through funding from New York State. They had launched what was called a SWIMS program last year and asked us to reach out to local municipalities to determine which one of them would benefit from expanding lifeguarding training, swim classes, et cetera, among municipal pools. And the city of Ithaca indicated that they would be able to utilize this funding for this past summer. So this allows us to accept that funding and then reimburse the city of Ithaca.
Shauna?
Just to make known, I believe my daughter actually took advantage of this funding. She was a lifeguard at the Alex Haley pool, and I know that it allowed many of the lifeguards to get recertified. And typically, the certification for new lifeguards is around $400. And so, you know, for someone to have to spend $400 to get certified and only make, I don't know, $2,000 for the summer, I think it's a big cost at the very beginning. So
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? Those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous. And then I guess we have another resolution, adoption of local, no, reading again, jumping. Resolution, budget adjustment, county administration authorizing streaming services for the Ithaca Area Economic Development, Inc. Someone want to move that? Shauna? Rich? You want to mention it?
Sure. So, and we have our communications director here who can speak more specifically to the services being offered, but my understanding is that the live streaming services are provided by our communications department for the IAED and TCIDA meetings. And then this resolution allows us to then seek a fee for that service that we are providing them. So that is outlined here on what we are doing and then the associated dollar amount for that cost. If there are any other questions about that service, I would invite Monica up to speak to it.
I just wanted to understand, so IAED will be paying us back for this?
That's correct.
Okay. Didn't understand that at first. Monica?
Was there a question?
No, I just, Bridget answered, but I saw you coming up, thought maybe you had a comment for us.
No, I just wanted to be ready if there were any
Okay,
questions.
thank you. Rich?
Yeah, as the chair of the IDA, I wanted to say this is a very helpful thing because we have our meetings in chambers here, and there's always questions about are we being transparent enough with the public, and without this, it would be much more difficult to satisfy that. So a good thing. And I would note that the $1,600 we're glad to pay, but the county helps pay that, so it is a little circular.
That's right.
All right, ready to vote? Those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous. What else, Bridget?
Would you like me to provide updates at this point?
Sure.
Sure. So I just had one other piece of good news. We were notified over the last week or so that we were awarded $324,000 to support the transition to Tyler, the new Tyler database for assessment. That was a New York State local government efficiency opportunity that we had applied for at the beginning of this year, and we're notified of our conditional award in that amount. So that's 90% of the cost of the initial conversion, which is great news.
Yes.
Yep.
And my recollection is we were taking money out of contingency fund to pay for that, right?
I believe that is correct, yes.
This is going to save us.
It will help, yes. Now, it will take some time to get an executed contract from New York State. That has been our experience. So the timing may be interesting, but yes, it will have an impact on the budget for sure.
Good, good, okay.
And that's my report.
Any other questions for Bridget? I also see Norma there too, if she has, if you have any questions
I was
for her.
anticipating more conversation about the assessment. So those were funds that were one-time funded last year. So those are directly in the budget for assessment, and we have acknowledged those for the 2026 budget. So I just want to let you know that.
You have acknowledged.
We've acknowledged the grant
That we're gonna get the grant.
for the 2026 budget. Yeah.
That's good, that's helpful. All right, anything else? Okay. Did we vote? We voted, didn't we? Yeah, okay.
Moving to number 10. 9. Moving to number 9.
All right, now I think I get to go to where I was going and mention that over several meetings, the GO committee has talked about charter changes, and the one that had been proposed by me, actually, going back a couple of years, is the idea that we really should have in the future an odd number of legislators to prevent deadlocks. We've had some significant deadlocks in the past, and when we had 14 members, and we've had, we're about to add 2 new members, which will give us 16, so the potential for deadlock is there again from time to time. Up until the 2010 census, we had always had 15 members on the legislature. When we set up the Independent Redistricting Commission after 2010, I'm getting it right, the right dates, they recommended dropping to 14, and that's when we first ended up with an odd number. We never had an odd number before, I'm sorry, an even number. We never had an even number prior to that. So my suggestion, and I really want to thank Maury Josephson for putting together this, these 2 resolutions that would simply change the charter to say that we could still have a variety of numbers, but they would all be odd numbers. And it would not affect anything that's going to happen now with the current election. It would not come into play until after the next decennial census in 2030. And then for when it's redistricted after that, then it would be an odd number again. So that's why I'm glad to see them brought forth. And I would ask if someone would want to move the resolution authorizing a public hearing on local law number D of 2025, a local law amending the county charter to provide that the legislature shall, upon reapportionment, have an odd number of members. Rich moves it, seconded by Shauna. Discussion. Rich?
I'm in favor of this. Frankly, I think 16 that they're going to go to next year is too many, but that's what we're going to live with for a while. I'm wondering if we should add something to the title, because this charter change is also redefining size. And that seems to be an important thing too, that we're eliminating the opportunity or the possibility of having 17 or 19 as odd number.
Yeah, that's correct, but we've never had 17 and we never had 19.
The charter allows it
and
at present.
As you just said, 16 seems to be too many. What would you suggest for a change in title?
I would say amending the county charter to redefine the size and provide that the legislature shall, upon reapportionment, have an odd number of members.
I'll second that. That's friendly.
Is that friendly?
Yeah. That's
Maury?
Do you remember it well enough to repeat it?
Sure.
Amending the county charter to redefine the size and provide.
No legal objections.
Okay. So I guess then with the change, that's what's on the table. Are we ready to vote on that? Remember, this is setting the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll just comment. I personally don't really have a strong opinion either way. I mean, I think that there have been, from my memory, very few instances where we actually tie votes. And I think there's a mechanism whenever we do, especially the one instance I think you're talking about, whenever we had the chair vote I don't know, 6 years ago or so, maybe more. And so I personally, I will vote for it to go through so that we have a public hearing, and I think it's important for us to hear what our public thinks about it, but more than likely will not support it if it comes to the full legislature.
Well, thank you for saying you'd let it go to public hearing. Anyone else? Let's vote. All those in favor? That's unanimous. And then we have the actual local law. Would you want to make that change in the title of that too?
I would.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Do we need to move this? Okay. I'll move it.
Shauna moves it.
Or,
Rich seconds
you know what,
it.
actually, I have a point of order. In order for this to move forward to the legislature, do we need 3 votes, or do we just need a majority of, we need 3 votes? Okay,
You have to have a majority of the committee.
okay.
All right. Any more further discussion on that? I do think it's something that should be talked about. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's unanimous. I'll see if I can get to the right order here. I guess we're up to reports. We're moving pretty fast today. I'm sorry?
We're going to let you chair more meetings.
Hey,
Considering how
not
those
for long.
considering how those EBC meetings move,
Oh, they'll just move right along. I don't have any formal report today, because I'm not really the committee chair. I'm a substitute. Bridget, do you have any further report?
No further report.
Is our equity and diversity officer here?
I believe she was out ill today, so I don't believe
Okay.
she'll be here.
All right, well, we hope she feels better. Maury?
we've completed our interview process for assistant county attorneys and have found ourselves with an embarrassment of riches to choose from. So we're in the process of making that, gathering writing samples and making that decision. So hopefully soon we'll have something to present on that. Otherwise, I've used up my quota of words this month, I think, so, and it's only the beginning of the month. So I will just indicate, as always, I'm available for questions and leave it at that.
Thank you for that. Questions for Maury today? Boy, we're just, it's like a bobsled going down the hill. Daryl, Director of Finance.
Hello. I don't have any formal report for this committee. I will add the Finance Department is working on 3 policies still currently, kind of been slowed down by the budget process, but we hope to wrap them up shortly and bring them in front of you guys.
Questions? Rich?
Yeah, I can't recall if we've seen it recently. How is the casino revenue and the marijuana revenue running? If you know. I don't mean to
I
catch
will
you
have to
flat-footed.
look and then get back to you. I do know my last quarterly report did have the marijuana, the cannabis tax, but did not
It was
include-
relatively small, as I remember.
It was not large. I do believe, I did hear some wind of some other possible dispensaries opening up. I'll have to look into. But I can look into it and get back to you with a better concise answer.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else for Daryl? Thank you, Daryl. Monica, you're back.
I am. I just have 3 quick things that I wanted you to be aware of that I'm working on. One is the update of the county's social media policy. So I've researched best practices and reviewed policy guidelines as they relate to governmental agencies and their use of social media, and incorporated a lot of those things into our existing policy. I paid particular attention to recent First Amendment decisions relating to governmental social media content management. And I also addressed the need for properly archiving the social media content of the county's 25+ social media accounts to facilitate efficient later retrieval if necessary. A first draft was shared with the departmental communications staff in the county and also the Public Information Advisory Board. And now I'm working on looking at all those comments and incorporating them into that first draft as appropriate. And then this will go through the regular policy review process and through the legislative process. So this will be coming in the next months, I hope. The second thing is I'm working on the development of a threat response communications plan. We have protocols for all sorts of things of how to report threats and how different county entities have procedures for responding to those. And I think it's also prudent to proactively develop sample messaging and have those ready for different types of threats, for internal and external communications, and really figuring out, when and how do we communicate certain information to staff and then also externally. And obviously that's just not me alone doing this, but there are a bunch of other people involved as well. And then the third thing is along those same lines, I'm engaging in professional development for emergency communications to really learn about, best practices as there are things changing all the time, and also the role of the public information officer in case of emergencies. So that's happening as I go along. Those are virtual trainings, they're free, and I have them scheduled over the next, few weeks. That's all.
Questions? One thing that Monica and I talked about, she raised the question with me, and that is how we want the summaries of our EBC meetings to be published for the community. We've always done them in the past, and she wondered if it would be all right to combine the first EBC meeting with the report from our last no, not this one. I gotta remember which committee I'm on. The BCP meeting which we had a few days ago, and then you asked, would it be all right if you combine the if we have two EBC meetings in 1 week, if we combine the report of those? And I said I'd raise it with the group and see what they thought. Have any thoughts on that? I certainly don't see any problem with doing one report because we've had these two meetings so close together. And usually the first EBC meetings, which they're simply reports from the departments, are not too controversial, but maybe we combine, if we have two in one week, those, and maybe if we get into the voting meetings, maybe go back to each meeting. That's just I'm open on this one, whatever you folks think.
I agree with you, Mike. I think the informational meetings at the beginning, you could certainly combine. Where the public really should be seeing what we're doing, I think, is at the voting meetings. Yeah.
I also think that there are going to be some meetings that might have more attention than others. Like I know the Human Services Coalition is going to have most of our nonprofits reporting there, and there might be some questions on the funding recommendations. So those might be pretty meaty. And then I think public safety is always pretty meaty as well, or the Sheriff's Department.
Would it be fair to say to Monica that to use her best judgment on that?
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that seem okay with you, Bridget?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Reports from committee members.
We were having a discussion prior to the start of the meeting about perhaps doing a resolution to move one of those trophies to another committee.
Yeah, we haven't voted on that, have we?
But I hesitate to sow that much discord with our fine legislature on that topic. But it's tempting. Anyway.
Should we set a public hearing?
Yeah. Let's.
There needs to be an odd number of trophies.
We should just make sure every committee gets a trophy.
That's right.
I think that's good.
Participation trophy. Yeah.
There is a budget adjustment and transfer for information only purposes about local mileage and the clerk's office travel and training. You want to mention anything on that?
Was that clerk's training?
It was clerk's training, and then it was local mileage for legislators.
What'd you do?
We did a couple in-house trainings.
Well,
Since we have some extra time, we should probably talk about like the flag policy or, I mean, I came here for a meaty meeting. Not getting that today, Mike.
That was efficient.
well,
That was-
if you've got compliments, tell me. If you've got complaints, let Amanda
Okay.
know.
Gotcha.
I guess we're going to adjourn. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.